The film opens in 1991, where a group of teens is throwing a party near the Bay Pen corn syrup factory. A girl is shown twisting a Bay Pen music box, and when the melody plays, a clown springs out. She glances at her boyfriend, teasingly inviting him for some fun. She enters a cornfield, and her curious boyfriend trails after her. He soon loses track of her and notices an abnormally large footprint in the soil, which makes him uneasy. Eventually, he locates her, but she starts spewing blood and begs him to run before dying. Terrified, he turns to escape, but he doesn't make it far. The story then flashes forward to present day, where we meet a teenage girl, Quinn, and her dad, Glenn, traveling in their car. They've just arrived in a quiet town called Kettle Springs to start over. Coincidentally, their new home is located close to the old Bay Pen corn syrup factory. The next morning, Quinn prepares for her first day at school, but is surprised by a strange boy at the door. He says his name is Rust and invites her to walk with him. She agrees, not giving it much thought, and later notices the eerie silence and odd vibe of the town. She reaches school, and the teacher, Mr. Verne, scolds her for being late and instructs her to take a seat. In class, the students prank him by editing his face onto a muscular man's body. This enrages Mr. Verne, so he hands out a surprise test and gives Quinn detention for her tardiness. A student named Cole protests that it's unfair, earning detention himself. After school, Quinn hangs out with Cole and his friends, Janet, Ronnie, Tucker, and Matt. Quinn is puzzled about why she was punished, and the group tells her Mr. Verne hates them, and they hate him back. During the chat, she learns Cole's father is the town's mayor and that his family owns Bay Pen. The town celebrates Founders Day with a big float of Friendo, the company's clown mascot. The group admits they made Friendo into a killer clown character for fun, filming parody clips dressed as him. These are uploaded to YouTube, where their channel has 65,000 followers. Later, Quinn dines with her dad, and while the waitress is warm to Glenn, she's rude to Quinn. They meet Sheriff Dunn, who tells them the syrup factory recently burned down. At that moment, Cole's group pulls up outside, and Dunn discreetly warns Quinn to stay away from them. That night, the teens are partying and having fun. Quinn uses the opportunity to ask them about the fire. Cole says they did sneak in to film a video but deny causing the blaze, which was blamed on bad wiring. Still, the timing seems suspicious, and no one fully believes them. Meanwhile, Matt heads off to relieve himself and is suddenly attacked, his screams drawing attention. When he returns with fake guts, a person in a Friendo outfit appears, scaring Quinn. But it's all a prank. It turns out Tucker was wearing the costume, and Janet filmed everything. Later, Quinn and Cole share a moment, and he asks about her past. She says her mom died of an overdose last year, and her dad, a surgeon, hasn't worked in the ER since. She explains that Kettle Springs needed a family doctor, which led them here. Cole relates, saying his younger sister also passed away by drowning last year. That night, Quinn watches the prank video again. But this time, she's alarmed to see a real clown lurking behind the fake one. She takes a screenshot and sends it to the group. Tucker checks it just as he gets a doorbell notification and sees someone in a Friendo mask at his door, but assumes it's Cole. He grabs a Nerf gun and searches his house, finding nothing but muddy footprints. Back in his room, he sees a Bay Pen music box in his closet and still thinks it's part of a joke. But then, suddenly, we cut to the Founders Day festival where townsfolk have gathered. Cole's father, Mayor Arthur, delivers a welcome speech, and a lively parade begins. Quinn finds Ronnie and Janet and asks if they figured out who the other clown was. They suspect Rust, who used to be Cole's friend. Cole then appears, and Janet excitedly mentions they've got something crazy to film. Soon, a guy wearing only a Friendo mask rides in on a unicycle, performing fire tricks. But one flaming prop slips and crashes onto the big Friendo float. It quickly catches fire, sending the crowd into a frenzy. Cole, Janet, Quinn, and Ronnie try to flee but are stopped by Sheriff Dunn, who blames them and arrests them. The teens plead their innocence, but he locks them up anyway. Inside the cell, a strange old man warns them not to anger Friendo or face death. The following day, they're released and allowed to return home. The scene switches to Matt working out in his garage. He notices a Baypin music box nearby, assumes it's a prank, and throws it away. But while lifting weights, Friendo emerges and traps the barbell on Matt's neck. The killer slides a handsaw onto the bar and drives it down his throat, killing him. Later that night, Quinn gets a message from Cole, inviting her to a party. She quietly sneaks out while her dad sleeps and joins Cole, who gives her the same music box. As they drive, they come across Rust, who's just hunted a deer. Cole greets him awkwardly, then drives on. They arrive at a barn where a big party is underway. There, they reunite with Janet and Ronnie, who wonder where Tucker and Matt are. They assume the boys are preparing another prank and tell everyone to be alert. After dancing a bit, Cole and Quinn sneak off to a shed. Cole seems distant, and Quinn feels rejected, so she walks out. Janet and Ronnie find her and mockingly explain that Cole rejects everyone. Suddenly, a girl screams from the cornfield and stumbles out, an arrow lodged in her back. Thinking it's another prank, they investigate. Then someone throws a Friendo mask at Janet, revealing Matt underneath. Quinn panics, but Janet insists it's all fake. Quinn checks the girl's pulse and realizes she's really dead, terrifying them. At that moment, Friendo jumps out of the cornfield and attacks. Chaos ensues as students rush into the barn, leaving Quinn, Ronnie, and Janet behind. Friendo relentlessly chases the trio, firing arrows. Luckily, Rust arrives with a shotgun and takes the clown down. They think of calling 911, but find there's no cell service. Things get worse when they discover all car tires have been slashed and batteries drained. They try to unmask the killer, only for several more Friendos to appear, all armed. Rust shoots one, blasting off his hand. Another Friendo lunges at Quinn, but Cole knocked him out with a metal rod. The group runs as more Friendos chase them through the barn. Meanwhile, Glenn realizes Quinn is gone and gets angry. Elsewhere, the teens hide in a shed as Friendos pound on the door, cackling. One nearly breaks in, so Rust uses 2 of his last bullets to kill him. Cole snaps at him for wasting ammo, and Rust lashes back, accusing Cole of abandoning him. The girls are stunned to learn they were once lovers. Then, they notice a sewer grate. Rust proposes using gasoline as a distraction. Meanwhile, Glenn searches town and finds his clinic broken into. Inside, he's held at knife point by a Friendo who demands he treat his injured partner. Glenn asks what's happening, but the clown threatens Quinn's life if he doesn't obey. Back at the shed, the Friendos breach the door. Rust lights a fire while the others escape into the sewer. The clowns are hit by a fiery blast, while the teens get out safely. When Rust doesn't appear, Cole wants to go back, but the girls insist on heading to the Tillersons for help. They walk through the cornfield and reach the road, where a car approaches. It's Sheriff Dunn. Seeing the bloodied kids with a gun, he arrests Cole on the spot. The girls try explaining about the clowns, but he refuses to listen and drives off with Cole, leaving them behind. With no option, the girls return to the cornfield. There, a Friendo emerges with a chainsaw and chases them. Ronnie is caught and gruesomely killed, horrifying Janet and Quinn, who flee. Eventually, they reach the Tillersons' home and see a dead clown inside. They find a phone, but don't know how to use the rotary dial. Then, they see a bulletin board with their photos and old clippings about murdered teens. A Baypin music box is also there. It's a trap. The terrified girls rush downstairs, where a Friendo strikes. He attacks Quinn, but she rips a pitchfork from Janet's body and impales him. Both Janet and the clown admit they hate Quinn before dying. Traumatized, Quinn takes a car key and flees. Meanwhile, Glenn unplugs the monitors on the wounded Friendo and fakes panic. He tricks another clown into helping, who drops his knife. Glenn grabs it and stabs him in the throat. Taking the walkie-talkie, Glenn hears someone order Quinn brought to the Baypin factory. Quinn, meanwhile, finds a car but struggles with the stick shift. Just then, Friendos appear and abduct her. Later, she wakes up at the abandoned factory, surrounded by clowns. She asks who they are, and they remove their masks. It's the sheriff, the waitress, her teacher, and other townsfolk. Their leader is revealed to be Mayor Arthur. He explains that since the early 1900s, the town has hunted teens who ruin their image. those who party, drink, or rebel. He pulls a curtain to reveal Cole tied by the neck, hanging. Quinn is horrified, but Arthur claims he disowned Cole, blaming him for his sister's death. Sheriff Dunn tries to shoot Quinn, but Glenn crashes in with his car. During the chaos, one clown gets crushed by a cinder block, and a waitress is impaled. Glenn runs to help Cole, but is shot by Dunn. Quinn hides in a room filled with costumes. Dunn storms in, searching among mannequins. She grabs a cattle prod and jams it down his throat, killing him. Meanwhile, Cole is barely holding on. He asks Arthur if he started the factory fire for insurance. Arthur confirms it and flees in Glenn's car, leaving Cole hanging. Injured Glenn tries to save him, but struggles. Suddenly, Rust arrives and shoots the rope, saving Cole. The two reconcile and kiss. Quinn finds them, and the four survivors get in Glenn's car. Glenn guides Quinn on driving the stick shift. On the road, they encounter Mr. Vern in a friendo mask, holding a chainsaw, but they decide they're done running. A year later, Quinn heads off to college. Glenn is now running for mayor. Rust and Cole visit to say goodbye, handing Quinn a baton. As she drives away, she sees a Bay Pen music box, but tosses it out the window. And that's where the movie ends. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next recap.